My name is Jim McGinn. I wrote a bunch of scripts for Paulist over the years. The first one I wrote for him was No Tears for Kelsey. And at that time, there were runaway kids all over the place. Sunset Strip, there had to be hundreds of kids that were on the sidewalks. I knew I wanted to do a story about a runaway girl, but I was just knocked out by the performance of Deborah Winters, who played the runaway girl.
Hey, man, you call that talking? Father's speech number 1 in front of the fireplace? You're not doing well in school, Kathleen. Go to your room and hit the books. Father's speech number 2 is, I've got work to do, honey. Here's $10, go shopping. Number 1, room. Number 2, shopping. And that's the whole bag.
And the mother is very sympathetic to this.
Maybe it was my fault. Maybe I should have raised her just so, but she's your daughter, too. It's awfully frustrating talking to a profile.
But the father finally isn't. And he basically says, well, you're going to come home and by God, you're going to do this and that. And he reads the riot act to her.
You listen to me. I didn't raise you to be a quitter because you can't cut the mustard at school. A scared little rabbit cowering in some corner with a sniveling punk named Michael. Now, you listen to me. I am your father, whether you like it or not. I am not Mr. Machine. I am not Mr. Time is Money. I am Jim Kelsey, and you are my legal charge.
And the final scene has the father and the mother driving to see her. They found her again. They're going down. And the mother says, the last time I saw her, she looked so thin. And the father, we finally push into a close-up of him, and he's crying. Unfinished business. Well, this is a true story of my father. And he lived in Chicago and would come out to see us once in the spring and then in the fall. And one year he had a heart attack while he was here. Damn near died in the hospital, but he obviously couldn't go home, so he stayed with us for a period of months. And I became his male nurse.
Patty thinks I've neglected you.
I never said that.
But you've thought it?
I understand. You've got a career. You're young. Family to raise.
I don't mean to. I think about calling you all the time. It's just often the wrong time.
Jim, I was the same with my folks.
And he showed a vulnerability that he never did before. He's always a proud man. And I decided to interview him. Since he knew this was it, he wasn't afraid to really open up.
That's not good.
What made you decide to go to college?
I want to get out of there, Jim. I didn't want to be poor all my life.
Your mother must have been proud.
Oh, like hell she was. She wanted my paycheck. She'd say, Jonty, are you going to go to school forever? That's when I was all of 14.
And I gave it to him at Christmas as a Christmas gift. By this time, he was back home. And he loved it, and he'd show that to anybody who could get to see it. He used to, when he traveled, he'd take it with him. He said, you have a 16-millimeter projector here? You know, I've always been interested when you drive across this country. You get to the edge of a town, there's always kind of a hard-scrabble farm there. And I always wondered, I wonder who lives there, what's their life like? So I did a thing called The Girl on the Edge of Town. And this girl is a very bright student, and her boyfriend gets her pregnant. And he's got a Navy scholarship waiting for him. And Patty Duke played her mother. And so obviously the family has to go through what they do.
Oh, you're so stupid. I thought you had more brains than I did. You mean you were? Do you think your father and I would have gotten married if we didn't have to? I don't know. You never told me. Baby.
Paulist was wonderful. It was so unique. You know, most of them were good, and most of the competition were sermons. Throw in insight. where you had name actors doing real drama. It's been a very important part of my life.